When is the housing market going to crash? Let's go right into it. So, a couple things you have to understand about this housing market is that right now there's a lot of inventory that's still available. All right. And so, how does it affect whether there's going to be a crash or not? Well, let's go ahead and just take a look at a couple takeaways about this. Okay. So, right now, despite today's high mortgage rates, home prices continue to rise due to lack of housing supply. This just means there's not a lot of inventory out there, guys. Economists predict that any market correction will be modest and not on the scale of the Great Recession or anything close to what 2008 was. In short, experts do not expect a housing market crash, again, due to low inventory, strict lending standards, and many other factors as well. All right. So let's go ahead and go into what's happened recently. Number one, prices have increased once again in February, according to the National Association of Realtors, which is 100% accurate, by the way. And here, let me just pause real quick here. I know the news says a lot of stuff, YouTubers say a lot of stuff. If you all just look at the data, you'll see that it's way too many houses out here for sale, and there's not a lot of buyers, in my personal opinion. Buyers are just slowly coming out the woodworks and buying a lot of the old inventory up that didn't sell last year. Okay, so there's still a lot of inventory for them to buy. But my point is, anytime you're not sure about something, and instead of just listening to people, just look at the data and see what the numbers, if they make sense to you. All right. But either way, which reports that the median existing home prices were up 5.7% over the last year. That means that this is the 8th month in a row of year-over-year jumps. Okay. So again, this is where a lot of people are not understanding it, because again, so much for the idea of a housing recession would reverse some of the outsized price gains in homes. The U.S. housing market has finally started slowing in the late 2022, which was at the end of a couple years ago actually, and home prices seem poised for a correction. But a strange thing happened on the way to the housing market crash. Home values started rising again, which is where we are right now. People that want to buy homes, but everybody wants to buy the same homes in the same areas, and you still have prices that are still going up because there's still bidding wars. There's still, not a lot of inventory. And, so again, all of that plays a role. Now, this is what Lawrence Young says, who's a chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. He says that, let me make sure you guys can actually see this. He says that prices will remain firm and will not decline on a national level. And I firmly agree with this. Some prices of homes have dropped a little bit, but nothing crazy, okay? And it says right here that National Association of Realtors data shows that median sales prices of existing homes are near record highs, okay? February 2024's median of $384,000 is off of the all-time high of $413,800, but it's the highest February median on record, okay? So again, this is still pretty high. Seasonal fluctuations in home prices typically made late spring the highest price time of the year. The all-time high was reached in June 2022, as we saw, okay? So now, home prices have also risen more quickly than wages. And this is the real problem right here, is affordability. People saying, man, this is what I get for X amount of dollars. And people have always felt like that, to be honest with you. But I think now it's more of people saying, man, this is like what I really get, because now they're getting a leftover. But anyway, this is a reality that intensifies affordability challenges, says Lawrence Young. And of course, anytime home prices outpace people's incomes, that is not good. And and he's absolutely correct on that. All right. But here's the deal. Is it going to crash? Short answer is no. There are still far more buyers than sellers. And that means a meaningful price decline can't happen. There's just generally not enough supply. Okay. And there are more people than the housing inventory is economics 101. And so let's talk about that. So when is the inventory going to come? And why hasn't inventory come that much? Well, for one, so buyers have to buy for various reasons. I feel that buyers have to buy more than sellers have to sell, because buyers are transitioning. People that are essentially, going from moving out of their parents' house, just moving to different states or whatever, they growing families. Some people just want to actually go into homeownership versus a seller. Most sellers don't necessarily have to sell, like they're chill, but you do get some that are pressed for time. Essentially, all that is that a lot of buyers, because of interest rates being at, like one of the worst markets since typically 1995, that was last year. So many of those buyers already waited, and now they're like, listen, I need to buy. I know what it is. And so many of the buyers understand that, hey, the rates are not ideal. They're not the lowest of what they've been, but I've been waiting already. So it is what it is. Okay. Versus sellers, since they're like, hey, I could sell my house, but now I'm going to lose this interest rate that I got, right? I was at 3%, 4%, 5%. Now I got to go into this market where it's 6, 7, 8% potentially, right? And we do know that rate cuts are going to play a role. That's what's really going to make everyone smooth this whole thing over is the summertime. And that kind of goes into what I was going to leaning into, which is inventory. More inventory is well on the way. You still have people that rehab homes. You have people that lost homes due to tax sales, things of that sort. Now those homes are being rehabbed, coming back on the market. People that are getting divorced. You have just natural things of life, fortunately, and people have to sell homes. But the ones that didn't have to sell, they also have to want to buy. And that's really the reason why a lot of inventory is low right now, is because some people can just simply cannot afford to sell the property if they can't get a certain amount for it, and they don't want to give it away. And so they're saying, hey, I don't have a problem selling, but I need what I'm liking when it's time to buy. And what's going to attract more buyers? You already know this: lower interest rates, right? The only reason why people is not as many buyers. You have an increase in buyers in the last 60 to 90 days, simply because it's a new year. They waited last year, rates came down a little bit, and that's really what kind of sparked a lot of that. So again, once the rates drop, and they already said it's going to be 3 rate cuts this year. Once another rate drop comes, because we're already seeing a slight increase in buyers already with the current interest rates, it's going to be crazy. I don't know if it's going to be crazy like 2020 and 2021 again, but it's most definitely going to be crazy. It's most definitely going to be a lot of competition that's out there as well with a lot of these buyers. So the short version is, if you're waiting on the crash to happen, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Okay. And I see this all the time. Now you're probably saying, well, Calvin, what about the foreclosures going up? They're always up and down. And the reason why a lot of foreclosures end up going down, especially around this time of the year, is also what? Tax season. So a lot of people are structuring, hey, I know I was 3 months behind, 8 months behind, 5 months behind. Can I get caught back up? Can we modify my mortgage? Can I refinance? Or again, so banks don't want to be stuck with a house. They rather work something out. They'd rather take less money from you than to actually lose you as a person that pays every single month. They don't want to be stuck with the property, having to deal with squatters and having to deal. They don't make any money that way. They rather make some money is better than no money at all. They don't care about what's on your credit report. They don't care if all these late payments showing up. But my point is that if you find yourself in that type of situation or know someone that does, call the bank and find out what they're willing to do. They would rather you have your house. They don't want to be stuck with some house that they have to sell. Okay. So again, no crash happening, no time soon. This is directly from bankrate.com. I know you guys I know some people are, because there's always somebody in the comments. I'm used to it. It's no big deal. It doesn't bother me. But there's always someone that says, oh no, this is just craziness. It's still, the crash is going to happen. All right, we'll see. But like I said, look at the data. Anytime you're not sure about something or you want to double check something, look at the data and you'll see there's plenty of houses that's out here and buyers that don't want certain houses. And there are deals that are closing every single day. Okay. So again, listen, it's going to be the complete opposite of a crash. You're going to see so many homeowners almost close to 2020 and 2021 because so many of them waited last year. I know some of you all are thinking, all they did was just wait. There's a lot that people put on hold. They put on moving out of state. They put on, changing jobs. They put on, having kids, or now they're outgrowing their space. People still need to live life. And then you have the opposite where some people have to sell, so all of that plays a role. So either way, if you like this video, you're most definitely going to love the next one, and we'll see you guys there.